What's up everyone, how you doing? It's John, and in this video I want to talk about emulation and emulating on the more or less expensive side of things. This is an example of that. This is a mini PC I picked up on Amazon a while ago. It's called a Beelink. I'll put a link to information below. Usually retails for about around $300 US. I got it on sale. It's on sale quite often. I think I paid $270 for it back in the day. I think it's on sale even now as of doing this video. So what's cool about this old mini PC, this thing can do quite a bit in terms of emulation and consoles. I'm using Batocera. A big shout out to my friend Kirk, aka Gamester81. He's here on YouTube. I'll put a link to his YouTube channel as well. Encourage you guys to check him out, follow him. But I'll give you some examples of what this can emulate. For example, it can do Xbox. It can do Xbox 360, kind of depending on the game that you play. PlayStation 2 really well. It plays Wii U and GameCube and a whole bunch of other ones. And Batocera is a really cool interface. It's open source. I'll show you an example of that as well. So I just want to show you an example, guys. We'll power this bad boy on. Let me know what you guys think. This thing is super lightweight. Obviously I have big hands, but it fits in the palm of my hand. And super awesome. So I have about 20,000 plus games on this little bad boy here, right? So let's take a closer look, guys. Thanks for watching. Here is the main screen. So let's go show you what emulators I currently have on here. The classic Apple IIs. I grew up on the Apple II computer, so I'm definitely dating myself as far as age goes, but classic. Same with the ColecoVision and Atom. Adventure Vision is fairly rare tabletop. We'll take a closer look. FM Towns Marty, which is also pretty unusual. It's a Japanese computer, Xbox 360. Super Graphics, of course, pretty rare in the States. Only came out in Japan. Virtual Boy, GameCube, Game Boy Advance, the Wii U, Philips CDI. Obviously, there's more emulators that this thing can play. I'm just showing you a handful here in this video. What are some of your favorite consoles or handhelds? Let me know. Just past PS2. I don't have PS1 on this particular device. I'm sure I could add it though, no problem. Let's take a closer look at the Adventure Vision. So the Adventure Vision came out in 1983. It's really kind of came out right before the video game crash, to be honest, and it's got a really unique joystick, very similar to what you'd seen on the Vectrex. This thing's more rare than a Vectrex, and Entex is the company that built it. It has a spinning mirror in the middle of it that kind of causes the effect. The resolution effect. It runs off LED and it does run off of batteries. It can also plug in the wall, but because of the spinning mirror, the batteries do go fairly quickly. A handful of games came out for it, cartridges. Very cool unit. I actually don't own one. It's a few rare consoles I don't own. I'd love to get my hands on the real thing. What's cool about this Batocera setup is each console has a really cool border and theme. FM Towns Marty, it only came out in Japan. It is part of the FM Towns line. I'm going to show you Splatterhouse, which is classic. You can kind of see the border I'm talking about. Splatterhouse came out, was ported to the PC Engine, the TurboGrafx 16, based on the arcade. This is more like the PC Engine version, where it's the blood is green. They got rid of there's a meat cleaver. They replaced it with a wooden board, for example. But going back to the FM Towns Marty, really cool console, CD-based, 32-bit console. It is awesome. This does play also the original Xbox. I'm going to show you a game here on the Xbox, and I love my original Xbox. And if you have an original Xbox, it's also really cool to get modded because it can emulate really well. Arctic Thunder is part of the Thunder series, so Hydra Thunder, for example, is another game. This one's different though in the sense there's weapons, and I like to choose racing games that emulate to show you because of the frame rate, and it's a good kind of example of when you choose fast pace and going. And you can see here it plays really well, and this is a really fun game to play. But yeah, I do love the original Xbox, absolutely. And let's exit out of this. Start and select to exit. I'll show you the Xbox 360. I only have one game loaded on here. This is Alice Madness Returns. Kind of reminds me of a Tim Burton themed game or movie. If you like Tim Burton, very cool director, and it definitely has that feel. EA built this game. This game frame rate is a little slow, as you'll see here in a second. Doesn't mean that other Xbox 360 games won't play on here. It just means that this particular game runs slightly slow. It's definitely playable, but runs slightly slow. Now, the aspect ratio is larger because it's a later console, right? It's not that 4:3 aspect ratio, so it does take up the whole screen. And this is a game definitely you should check out if you have the original Xbox 360. But it does boot up really quick using this Beelink PC. Go and start it. I'm actually using the controller I'm using to play this is a 360 controller USB, but because it's a PC, you can pretty much use any USB controller you like, a joystick, etc. Loading times aren't too bad. Here we go. Let's start running, and you can kind of see a little slow. Definitely playable, like I said, but a little slow in the spinning, a little slow in the running. And that's just, it's a little more powerful game, and you can kind of see it. It is playable, though, for sure. But you can kind of see what I mean with the Tim Burton feel. Nightmare Before Christmas, Edward Scissorhands, classic game movies like that. Definitely has that feel for it, absolutely. Beetlejuice, for example, too. Thomas Wave, man, I love the Thomas Wave. This is an arcade emulator, arcade line that came out in the early 2000s, but I'll tell you, it ages awesomely, if that's a word, awesomely. I'll check out a racing game again, see if we can get to it. Faster Than Speed is one I want to show you. It's kind of like the Fast and Furious line of racing games, and it plays really cool. Again, very cool border, like almost like you're playing on the arcade. I picked a hatchback. This is like a Honda hatchback. I actually had one of these, 93 hatchback, 5-speed back in the day. And that's why I picked it. I'm driving terribly. It's not the controls. The controls great. That's just my driving ability. I love these arcade racers, this and Cruising USA, for example, that series, the Fast and Furious game series, kind of like this. It's kind of like those games, absolutely. So here's another one. This is PlayStation 2 emulation. This is God of War, the first one. Love the God of War series. I think the first one's definitely one of my favorites. Of course, the two modern ones are amazing as well, but this is the one that started it all. And this game in particular tends to slow down oftentimes in emulation, I've noticed. And you can see here, really not much slowdown. So this Beelink little PC can definitely handle it, absolutely. Here's Vice City. This is Grand Theft Auto, one of my favorite Grand Theft Auto games. I'd say Grand Theft Auto 5 is my favorite for sure. Man, can't wait till 6 comes out. But this one is definitely my second favorite, absolutely. And I muted it with audio because there's some copyrighted songs. This is Michael Jackson playing when I'm getting in the car here. So I muted the audio for copyright reasons. But plays great. Love the story. And it's such an immersive experience. And that's just something that these games are really well known for, obviously. We're going to exit out of the PlayStation 2. We'll check out another game favorites you can see there. This is GameCube. GameCube, this is obviously Mario Kart, and one of my favorite Mario Karts actually, where you can kind of pick two different players, and really not much slowdown. The controls are awkward playing with the Xbox controller because the shoot button, I got to use my pointer finger, but other than that, you can always remap the controls, just the way I have it set up in this particular situation. You can always remap them, but love Mario Kart, and this is definitely one of my favorite Mario Karts. I also want to show you Resident Evil 4. This is also an iconic game for the GameCube. And it's crazy. It came out in 2004. So this game is almost 20 years old, believe it or not. And it's aged very well, considering it's almost 20 years old. And just one of the better Resident Evil games, in my opinion. So just want to show you some quick examples of what this little mini PC can do using Batocera. Awesome open source platform. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for subscribing, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys soon. Take care, and game on.